on.
All right, I'd like to go ahead and open up the Warrenton Board of Alderman meeting for Tuesday, November 19, 2024. If you would, please rise, say a pledge of allegiance with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item will be the consent agenda.
We have the regular meeting minutes from November 5th, 2024.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Who'd you get for second? We'll go with Alderman Lang. First by Alderman Quarter, second by Alderman Lang. Roll call vote.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump is absent. Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. Next will be public comments. If you're here and you'd like to speak to us, we ask that you come forward to the podium, state your name, we'll give you 5 minutes to speak. Not see anybody, we'll move on. Next will be Board of Alderman comments.
I'd like to say thank you to Andrea Romaker for all of her hard work on wreaths across America, and the last couple of days she has gone out and flagged over 400 veterans' graves at the city cemetery. So thank you, Andrea. Appreciate all your hard work and effort, and Roger, I'm sure you were involved with that as well. So, thank you. And the other thing is wishing the Warrenton Warrior football team good luck this Saturday. Play at West Plains, Missouri in part of the state finals. Eddie Meyer has gotten a bus to take down if anybody would like to contact him. I think it's $44 a person. West Plains is about 4 hours from here, so I've been on one of those bus trips with that group, and it's quite a bit of fun, to say the least. Win or lose.
That's the age restriction.
That's it.
On that,
great to be here.
Anyone else? Thank you. Next will be Mayoral Holiday. I'd like to ask for the board to consider approval of December 24th as a mayoral holiday and close City Hall. That'll be Christmas Eve. We normally do this just so everybody knows, but it's always asked, and we'll...
I'm good with that.
I'm
no
good with
problem.
that.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, seconded by Alderman Lang. Roll call vote.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. Next, we have the copy request for renewal. Michelle, you'd like to come forward?
Good evening. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I think everybody knows me. My name's Michelle Bernth. I'm the executive director at Agape. I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you guys again. These are one of my favorite groups to come and talk to. So thanks to Melody for the presentation. I appreciate it. You can go ahead and, you guys need a clicker desperately. Is it not in there?
No, it's still broke. I forgot to order it.
Still.
It's my fault.
If you say click,
let the minutes show that the clicker was not available.
But if you
at
say
this time.
click,
Okay, yeah,
she'll
all
turn
right.
it.
And click. See, this is a terrible system. No, see, there's all kinds of bells and keep clicking. There we go, Melody. Just go, keep going. There we go. Keep going. One more. There we go. All right. So I think all of you are pretty well familiar with Agape and what we do, but our mission, of course, is fighting hunger and preventing homelessness here in Warren County, and all of the work that we do is to that end. I just want to give some updates on kind of what's going on for us organizationally, what's going on in terms of the issues that we're addressing, not just for our organization, but broader than that as well. So we'll start, if you want to click a couple times, we can start talking about food insecurity. There we go, perfect. So we'll talk about trends in food insecurity. I want to share just a few of our upcoming activities that we have, and then some of our seasonal programs, because it is that time of year. It's interesting because I'm talking to you guys at a different time of year than normal because of the change in the fiscal year. So this is a different time of year than I'm normally here, so we can talk about some different things. Go ahead. So I just want to share with you guys a little bit about what's going on with food insecurity that we're seeing in our numbers. In our food pantry. So for those of you who have never visited our food pantry, families are welcome to visit the food pantry once a month, and it's set up as a client choice food pantry, which means that the families come in and shop for their own food. It's set up kind of like a little bit of a grocery store. And so if you look at this chart, this is showing kind of the trends over the years since 2018. So you can see, and I talked about this the last time I was here, there was a dip in food pantry visitors during COVID, which a lot of people feel like is counterintuitive. But the reason for that is because there was an increase in all of the other safety net programming at that time. So everybody got a full allotment of food stamps. Everybody got their WIC allotment increased. All of those other programs that are government-based all saw an increase there. Unfortunately, at the same time that we stopped receiving all of that extra food through COVID, all of those same resources also went down. And so you can see that's where the numbers start to really increase and has been on an upward trend. But on the next slide, you'll see what's happening this year, which is the thing that is interesting and slightly alarming, which is that every single month those numbers are increasing. And if you look, we've had an increase of 400 per month since the start of this year. That's a lot of people in this community. And so those are numbers that we're watching really carefully to make sure that we are able to meet the need and we have the resources to be able to do that. So as we look at some of the upcoming activities that Agape is engaged in, the first we have is our mobile food pantry. The second will be the emergency weather response shelter. And the third will be this new program called Farms. So first we can talk about the mobile food pantry. So this is, I talked about this just briefly when I was here last year. This is funded through the ARPA grant, which I know you guys are familiar with. We will be launching it in 2025. And the purpose of the mobile food pantry is to be able to reach more rural parts of the county and to be able to reach people who have a barrier to coming into the physical food pantry to receive food resources. So our priority populations will be elderly and disabled people, people who have transportation barriers or other barriers that stop them from being able to come in and receive food in our traditional food pantry. We know this is a need. We receive calls on the daily asking if we can deliver food, if we can come out to rural areas. So we know there's a need for this. This is an area that's not being filled by any other organization in the surrounding counties. So we're excited to be able to launch that. It takes a big influx of financial resources to be able to do this, and so we're grateful for the ARPA grant that allows us to have the opportunity to be able to set this up and launch it in 2025. The second thing I want to talk about is the emergency weather response shelter. So the EWR network is it spans the Tri-County area of St. Charles, Lincoln, and Warren counties. We, up until last year, were the only county that did not have, these are commonly referred to as warming shelters. We were the only county in the Tri-County area that did not have a warming shelter. So the entire EWR network, which again spans the 3 counties, is intended to help prevent death from cold temperatures. So the network activates when the temperatures are at or below 20 degrees overnight. The entire network in the 3 counties activates or does not activate as a whole. So we don't make that decision independently. The whole network activates or it doesn't based on that temperature. Last year was the first year that we were able to make this happen in Warren County. We have 4 lead agencies that work on this project, and Agape spearheads the whole coalition. It is located at the Mary Lou Community Center in Truesdale, and we will have, again this year, we will have volunteers who will staff this shelter when it activates. We are constantly, as you can see my lovely little graphic there, volunteers are needed. If you feel interested in spending the night at the Mary Lou Center with me, there are lots of opportunities to do that. But it's really important because when the temperatures are that low, people will die outside. It happens. We know it happens. Last year, we were activated for 11 nights throughout the season. And we had a great group of volunteers who were able to assist the guests. We had people, at least one person, stay every night that we were activated. There is a hotline number that people can call. It is for the whole 3 counties. So when someone calls into, and I will bring you cards that have that hotline number on them, so that we all have that resource. But when you call into the hotline, they will let you know where the nearest shelter to you is. Sometimes, if you don't have transportation, sometimes they are able to provide transportation in the form of an Uber ride. And then they will direct the person to the shelter. If that's our shelter, they will come there, check in, they get all of their things for the night, they can spend the night, and then the shelter closes at 7 a.m. the next morning. So we are glad to be able to do this again this year. It is a big undertaking, so if any of you are affiliated with any groups that might want to help participate with this project, that would be fantastic, because we could definitely use more groups at the table helping make this happen. And then the third thing I want to touch just briefly on is called the FARMS program. This is a partnership with the St. Louis Area Food Bank. It's a new program that they are offering, and we're going to be launching it in January. It has taken a couple of different forms over the years, so FARMS is a new name for this program. The St. Louis Area Food Bank has decided to transition it to us because it was in the program was in non-compliance, and so we're going to be launching it anew in January. We've never managed it before, but and this will be yet another food resource in this community. Exactly what that will look like is still to be determined, but it will be another food resource that we're able to offer in addition to our regular food pantry, the TFAP programming, and the CSFP programming that we already offer through Agape. So I'm just glad to be able to let you guys know that we will be launching that in January. As I mentioned, this is our busiest time of the year, and this is when all of our seasonal programming really gets going. So starting with next week, on Wednesday at the Warren County Fairgrounds, we will be doing our Thanksgiving meal distribution. As you can see, I put the numbers from the past several years on the chart. We are up over 100 families from last year. So we are over 500 families that will receive a Thanksgiving meal from us. For those of you who aren't familiar with this program, it is a partnership with the Knights of Columbus. It's called No Hunger Holiday, and it happens all over St. Louis. It's a really tremendously great program. And so we will be there Wednesday from 11 to 1, handing out Thanksgiving meals for those 512 families who registered for that program. Hopefully it's not going to be just freezing. And then after that, we have our Share a Christmas program coming up. So Share a Christmas is our Christmas gift program for kids. Last year, and expected again this year, that number will sit right around 1,000 kids who will receive gifts through this program. In addition to the toys or gifts that the kids receive, every child in the program receives a book, and every family in the program receives a board game as well. All of the gifts through this program are donated either from individuals, from businesses, or community groups. If anybody wants to participate by purchasing gifts, we have wish lists at Amazon, Target, and Walmart. The QR codes there take you directly to those wish lists. It's fantastic. You can purchase items. They come directly to our office. No muss, no fuss. We make it very, very easy. And all of those items go into a little store that we set up where parents have the opportunity to come in and shop for those gifts for their kids, which is a dignified experience for them to be able to select the gifts that their kids want, or that have the character on them that they love, or is the color they want, or whatever the case may be. So we are anxious about this program this year because 1,000 kids is a lot of kids. If you think on average that each kid gets about 3 items, that's fuzzy math, 3,000 items, right? Plus books, plus board games. So again, if anyone is so inclined to want to contribute to that, we would be incredibly grateful for that. And the final seasonal program is the bell ringing program. So again, Agape is the Salvation Army extension site for this county, which means that we are contracted to manage this campaign. Here in this county, we keep 85% of the money that comes in through the red kettles that you will see around town. So Again, this is a great opportunity for groups to volunteer, for individuals to volunteer, for families. My kids come and ring the bell every year. If you've got a cute kid, if you've got a dog, if you've got a guitar, that all brings in lots of money. So if you're signing up to ring the bell, please bring your most fun kid, dog, guitar, Santa hat, whatever you've got to help make it fun. But we will be bell ringing this year at Walmart, both doors, at Schnucks, at Walgreens, all in Warrenton, and then at the Fast Lane McDonald's in Wright City as well. And bell ringing will begin on Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, and continues weekends through Christmas Eve. So if anybody wants to volunteer for that, that would be fantastic. So that kind of brings me to all of the things that are going on. Obviously, as you all know, I'm here to ask for a renewal of the service contract. When we talk about nonprofit organizations and what it takes to make them function, these are the things that are necessary: volunteers, food donations, in-kind support, and financial contributions. We had, as Alderman Corder can attest to, we had our volunteer appreciation party last week, where we got an opportunity to thank our volunteers who work side by side and hand in hand with us every single day. We would not be the organization that we are without our volunteer support, and so we were glad to have an opportunity to say thank you to them and socialize with them a little bit. Food donations, of course, come in through a variety of avenues. There's currently a food collection barrel at City Hall. We appreciate your support on that front. In-kind support is important, and of course you cannot overstate the importance of financial contributions. And so here we are to ask for a renewal of the service contract in the amount of $25,000, which was the same amount as last year. I'm happy to answer any questions if you guys have any questions.
Michelle, I just got a quick one. In terms of donations, as far as people that are maybe watching this, which one, I guess in your opinion, goes the farthest? If someone donates money versus food, do you guys get a better rate from some kind of food place?
We can, yeah. So we can purchase food cheaper than the average person can. The other thing that financial contributions give us the opportunity to do is to fill holes. So a lot of times when you ask for food donations, for instance, right, you get 97,000 cans of green beans, but not all the other things that we need. And so when we get financial contributions, it allows us to really sort of build out all of the gaps that we have and fill those in. Mm-hmm.
Michelle,
Yep.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask on the QR code, is that on your website?
It sure is.
For the Amazon, Walmart, and Target? Okay.
On our website, on our Facebook page, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
So I noticed on the previous chart, the families you're servicing monthly. You had a red line on the 1,027. Is that your anticipated need, or why isn't that line increasing?
So that is just showing where we were at that point from before the dip. So you can see kind of how we came back to that point and then above it.
And exceeded it. And do you coordinate with like Meals on Wheels, or are you associated with them?
So they are run by a different organization. Meals on Wheels is run by the Senior Center, but we do partner with them. Yeah. But we're not directly involved with running that program. Okay.
Any other questions? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the renewal amount of $25,000 to Agape.
So moved.
Second.
First one was Schultz. Who's second? Like 5 other people. Okay.
Second.
We all said second.
So,
Just put all.
first was made by Alderman Schultz, second was by Alderman Cullum. If I could have a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Corder?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with 1 absent. Thank you.
Thank you,
Next.
Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. Next, I will turn it over to Alderman Schultz for his discussion item.
Yeah, so I asked for this to be put on the agenda today. I had a concerned citizen reach out to me about the excessive speeds on multiple occasions on Walton, and I tend to agree with this person that that's probably one of our highest used city streets. It's about 5 or 6 blocks long without a stop sign. I think the 20-mile-per-hour speed limit gets abused often, and I think a stop sign about halfway in between the one next to, on Market Street, next to Lewis and Beatty there, if we went back to Hudson Street and added a three stop sign there, it'd be a low-cost solution to the excessive speeds.
I'm going to tell you, I disagree. I think we should put one at every intersection personally.
That's what I was going to say, too.
Yeah, I think that is
And it's not that I disagree, I think we should put it at more.
You think?
We have more on Oak than we do on Walton. And Walton's more, I believe, probably more highly traveled than Oak is.
If not, at least the same.
So I'm not actually disagreeing with you, I just think we should do more than just the one.
I agree with that.
So there's one at Lewis and Beatty, and then there's one at 47, and
That's it.
That's all.
yeah.
There's
So
nothing
the
going
one
on.
at Hudson, if we put one there, you think we need more? Where else would you put it?
Southeast Street?
Because the other one's
There's
just
at
a
least 2 to
block
3 more
down.
four-ways.
Southeast Street would be the only other.
Yeah, that would be the only one, isn't it?
I mean,
Don't
Whiteman
have one
Street's
here.
really not a.
What
Yeah,
what street is it? that,
There's one right here, isn't it?
By the old Western Auto, what street is that?
Chief, what do you think? One at every intersection, or?
They're not. No, you're right. But there's
I mean,
one-
historically, every time you ask me, I
There's one
say
at the
lower the speed
museum.
limit, you guys say raise it.
Well, we don't want to raise the speed limit, we want to add stop signs.
I was just wondering.
Fire 'em up.
Couple blocks
What's
out.
the street?
I agree with you that Walton,
It's southeast. I
the
think.
way
it's-
that street's way more dangerous than Warrior or any other ones because
Oh, yeah.
there's driveways that come right out onto it, so.
Yeah, they're close to the road, all those driveways.
And there's kids that walk to school up Walton and cross at 47, so.
That's
I
the main
agree.
thing, that's why I would agree with the mayor. I think every intersection personally should have stop signs there.
I mean, and if
I wouldn't
not every
go, I wouldn't go as
intersection-
far as putting one at every intersection, but he's absolutely correct. One needs to be in the middle there somewhere
Yeah,
because
that's-
that's a long stretch that you get your speed built up in.
Yeah, and I lived on Walton years ago, and I can attest that it's not a daily thing, but you have the people that'll drive 55 or 60 like it's a racetrack, and it's
Well, you can
and
tell
there's
by
no way to
the,
patrol it because it was at different times of day. When I lived there, somewhere in the morning, somewhere in the evening, and it was just a random, somebody just wanted to get on it, and
you can tell by some of the black marks left by cars that, and I agree. You'd have to have an officer assigned to that permanently to be able to
Yeah.
take care of that, and you can't do that. That's not feasible. So at least give them the proper tools in their toolbox to be able to write citations if they witness something, and by that, we put up stop signs so that it starts causing them to stop or get a ticket.
it doesn't sound like there's any opposition to at least the three-way at Hudson.
Oh, none.
I think that is a very good start, but I think there needs to be an assessment of where we need to. Maybe not every intersection, but definitely more than just that.
That's the first intersection before 47 to there. That's the only downside about that. I don't know where else you could put one.
Put one halfway between this one and, wherever.
Between Hudson and down. to
Because
there.
Morgan's starting to get more traveled, and
Right.
we're putting in a subdivision down there. So if you put one down there at Morgan, it would block up 2 blocks
Right.
that you could get maybe up to travel, but not the
That
speeds we're
Southeast Street
seeing.
is traveled, highly traveled.
And that's just a block down
And that's a block down.
from where we're going to.
So do you need a motion, Brandy?
Can I add something here real quick? There's 2 concerns that I would have with putting a stop sign at that location. Number 1 is the on-street parking. We could get some complaints that we're gonna have to have sight distance to see the stop sign. So the house in the corner, I know historically parks in the corner.
Where's
and
that?
that would block
And
At
the
Hudson
stop
and-
sign at Hudson, yep.
Well,
I think they were in agreement to
Yeah, I
move
don't-
and
I
park
don't-
on the side street. I think that's already
It
been
doesn't,
addressed.
it
Okay.
doesn't matter. We
The
can
other-
stop it if we need
Yeah,
to.
and that's just a concern that we're going to have to work with the owners there to not park in front of the stop sign because it'll block stop sign. Number 2 is, I'm not sure that it's not a safety concern, but we may be getting more noise complaints from loud mufflers stopping at a stop sign rather than just driving straight through from the same people that are wanting the stop sign. So
So
just keep that in mind.
Here's my concern. I know, and I agree. I'm glad you brought it to light, John, but I'm going to tell you, I can make an argument all day when it comes to safety.
Oh, again.
noise, whatever. you
Yeah,
know.
that's why I said it's not really a
And-
safety
And then
concern,
the
but-
parking, they can even complain that, but it's a safety. And it always goes back to safety, and we do. We take heed on that. You've been a part of that.
I
but
just wanted to throw that out there.
I appreciate it.
And I believe the residents in that area are the ones requesting, a little help on this, so that, they kind of, they live it, so.
Yep.
I agree. I do believe Hudson is a good spot because, that is a pretty good, you get people turn off there and they don't slow down when they turn.
Yeah.
But, just one on that whole street. I get when it was mostly traveled by traffic going down to Binkley, but it's becoming one of those that people are traveling to bypass Main Street or bypass something else, and we need to start slowing them down somehow. So I think we need to consider more than just that, but we can do that at a different time.
Yeah. Take a look at this. Do one, don't overdo it until we have to.
So I'll entertain a motion to add a stop sign at the intersection of Walton and Hudson.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, seconded by Alderman Lang. Roll call vote.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent.
So just so you're aware, this will come as it'll be a code change.
Yeah.
It'll be what?
It'll be a code change because we have the schedule in code of where stop signs are, so it'll come back before you again.
It's fine. As long as we're moving in that direction and we can tell the people that have called and complained that we're moving in that direction, I think that's what they just want to see, is us not doing anything but moving towards it.
Is there a way, after, when this comes on the next agenda, that we can reach out to those houses that may need to move vehicles for sight distance? Or would the law enforcement be able to tell them, I guess we can't stop them from parking on the city street there? We would almost have to add that as a,
Parking
no
zone.
parking.
There's only
for-
2 houses to the north, on the north side of that street
Right.
that would be affected by,
Costello.
yeah.
Well, I would say,
I think the only ones on the south side would be the south side of Hudson, just right
so
on.
what I would say is, if we could look into what the different ordinances are within other municipalities, such as if
All right.
it's a 50 feet mandatory of not parking by a stop sign or whatever it is from here to the wherever, we can either put one up or make it part of the ordinance or add it, whatever we need to.
We address that now before,
I think we already have,
We already have, I think it's 10 feet right now.
Is it?
on the intersection that, I think we already have something, and we'll confirm that.
Okay.
okay.
Like I said, as long as it's showing a work in progress, we should be okay.
One more thing before we move on. We do have a sign that says stop sign coming soon, or something. We can put a sign up there, the trailer with the marquee. Don't we have one of those?
The electronic sign?
Electronic signs. I imagine it's going to get run a lot once we create the ordinance, it gets put in, I think, notifying the public for some time, stop sign to come soon or something. We only have one though, don't we? One each way. There's already one on Hudson, so, I mean.
I think we give the chief discretion if he wants to advise his officers to give warnings for the first amount of period. I think that's the chief's discretion to do that for, as far as I'm concerned. For a certain amount of period before we start issuing citations on it.
Is there going to be an issue with, I'm looking at that, the home across to the south that has a driveway directly across from Hudson?
Number 70.
It's a little
Well, it's, 70
offset.
feet,
I think it should be,
It'll be,
Okay.
the stop sign will be farther west there.
it'll be
Okay.
before the intersection.
Right.
Right there.
Where her cursor's at.
Oh, right there, okay, all right, okay.
Actually, it'll probably help them. They'll have to stop and we can get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
Any other questions regarding that? All right, we'll turn it over to Brandy Walters, our city administrator.
Good evening. The first thing that I have for you tonight is we have a couple items that are cleaning up our code. The first one is amending the license required for a pawnbroker. Currently in that code, it says that they can transfer license from one to another, and we don't allow that, so we're just eliminating that. Nothing else is changing in that piece of code, it's just eliminating that verbiage that doesn't allow them to transfer.
Any questions on that? No. All right, I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 62-24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Rollmaker, seconded by Alderman Lang.
An ordinance amending section 611.030 of the municipal code of the city of Warrenton, Missouri relating to license required for pawnbrokers secured personal credit loans.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 62-24.
Moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Lang.
An ordinance amending section 611.030 of the municipal code of the city of Warrenton, Missouri relating to license required for pawnbrokers secured personal credit loans.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Rollmaker?
Yes.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Corder?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent.
The next item that I have for you is the same thing. We're cleaning up the code. In the code currently, the outside employment says that employees have to get approval from the finance officer or director of personnel. We no longer have that position, so we're just changing that to the city administrator or his or her designee.
Any questions on that? I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 63-24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Lang, seconded by Alderman Rollmaker.
An ordinance amending section 125.030 of the municipal code of the city of Warrenton, Missouri regarding outside employment.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 63-24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Corder, seconded by Alderman Schultz.
An ordinance amending section 125.030 of the municipal code of the city of Warrenton, Missouri regarding outside employment.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Corder?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Rollmaker?
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent.
I also have in front of you tonight is the Spectrum lease agreement. This is a contract that's been in place since 1998. It's for their cell tower that they have up on Coleman by the animal shelter. This is just extending that agreement. It's time for their renewal for 5 years, and it does include an increase, and this extension includes a 3% increase each year. They basically rent this small plot of land from us annually, and that's what this is for.
Any questions on that? I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 64-24.
So moved.
Second.
Go ahead and give.
Motion made by Alderman Lang, seconded by Alderman Rollmaker.
An ordinance to authorize the mayor to sign the Second Amendment to lease agreement between the city of Warrenton, Missouri and Spectrum Mid-American LLC.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 64-24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, seconded by Alderman Corder.
An ordinance to authorize the mayor to sign the Second Amendment to lease agreement between the city of Warrenton, Missouri and Spectrum Mid-America LLC.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Corder?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Rollmaker?
Yes.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent.
We will have a work session in here to review the operating summary and capital for the budget on December 10th at 5 p.m. And then I also just wanted to read a quick email to you. We had a great shout out to a few employees that I wanted to just let you guys know. This was from Linda and Tom Bajents, and they just wanted to let us know you have some outstanding employees working for you at the city of Warrenton. We had sewer issues last week and we're overwhelmed by the compassion, dedication, and professionalism of Guy Gevers, Jenny, and 2 other men, which I later found out that was actually Dave, Steve, and John. She said they diligently checked to see if the issue was on with Warrenton and if they could alleviate their problem. It ended up being a clog on their own side. In addition, at the end of his workday, Guy checked back to see how things were going. I have been telling all my friends and neighbors how great the city was. I also want to shout out to Rebecca. She was professional, pleasant, and very helpful. So I just wanted to let you guys know.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice to hear that once in a while.
It is good.
We're fortunate we have a great group to work with. We're very
Absolutely.
fortunate.
That's all I have for you.
Thank you. All right, next we'll hear from Director of Operations, John Struckoff.
Good evening. First item I have for you tonight is the monthly admin report. I wasn't here the last board meeting, so this is 2 months' worth. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer it. Otherwise, I have plenty of other stuff to talk about tonight.
Anyone?
Nope.
Go ahead, John.
All right, next thing I got is a few items for sale. These are items that we have recently, either recently or will be replacing in the next month or so. A couple snow plows, an old tractor that we just replaced with the John Deere tractor, and a Ford Explorer that's had its end of life. So just need approval to sell those.
Anybody have any questions on those items?
None.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the list of items for sale.
Second.
Motion made by McCollum, seconded by Lang. Roll call vote.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullen?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Lang?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent.
So those items, and along with the last vehicles that I got approved a few months ago, will be on Purple Wave auctions this time rather than Gov Deals. We're going to try them out, so just for your information. Next thing I have for you tonight is what's next? Is it the school board? The traffic study. We went out, or we budgeted this year for a citywide traffic study to go along with other planning and everything with all the development going on in town. We got 3 different bids from 3 different companies, and we're suggesting to go with GBA for a citywide traffic study for a total of $108,533. I'd be happy to answer any questions on that.
Any questions?
John, what does this actually give us?
So they're gonna do a current study on traffic at major intersections and throughout city streets in town, what's currently happening, and they're gonna also give us projections into the future. So what we're gonna need to increase, where we need to look at spending money, or making streets wider, bigger, that kind of stuff.
Does that include 47?
It will include MoDOT highways as well, yes.
So everything within the city
Anything within
limits
city
is
limits,
going
yep.
to...
Originally, we talked about not doing MoDOT roads, but, that really plays into the development of the city. So, there's major thoroughfares of MoDOT-owned highways, and there might be a time that we might have to put some money forward to upgrade a MoDOT-owned highway.
Is there such a huge issue there on South 47 going to the school, to and from school?
Yep.
During school hours, so that we need to figure something out there.
Yep, so this is a kind of a 2-phase approach of what they're proposing. The first phase is going to be a lot of data collection and find out exactly where the major problems are. This is the same company that did the traffic study on Pinckney Street. If you remember the Pinckney traffic study, they did a very good job of being there when the traffic was there and physically being there to see what's going on. So I'm pretty confident that this traffic study is going to be the same way. So after they do the phase 1, then they're going to specifically point out major problems, and I'm sure Warrior and 47, if it's not, I don't know how it wouldn't be, but that they would then look at that as a separate item, basically in the phase 2.
Will they be able to look into the future, like what's going to happen when the new school comes in on North 47?
Yeah, so that's going to be in all the projections. They're going to, we'll have plenty of meetings with them, and they're going to ask us, hey, where's the development happening? What's been approved? What's going in? And then they'll plug that into their data to figure out where we might plan on the development being north of town, and then we have a big subdivision south of town. We got to be kind of fluid when it comes to a traffic study, because we're studying now and what we think is coming in the future. So that can always change, but in their proposal they say that it's a fluid document, that it's going to be easily updated as we can look at it every 5 years and see where we're at. So. And that's just an example. We don't have to see it every 5 years. I'm just saying this as an example.
So they will give us a suggestion on changes, or will we need something else from that?
No, they should give us.
Put that in?
Yes.
As well? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Any other questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 65-24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Romaker, seconded by Lang.
An ordinance to authorize the mayor to sign a proposal with George Butler Associates, Inc. for a 2025 citywide traffic study.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 65-24.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Rollmaker.
An ordinance to authorize the mayor to sign a proposal with George Butler Associates, Inc. for a 2025 citywide traffic study.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Alderman Rollmaker.
Yes.
Alderman Lang.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Motion passed 5-0 with one absent. Our bill does, I'm sorry. My correction.
So while we're talking about traffic, real quick, I found out late last week, that we did receive a TEEP grant that we applied for a traffic and safety, pedestrian safety study on Morgan Street. So that will be pieced out of this project, and they're going to do that under a TEEP grant that we received. The TEEP grant is the same grant that we did Pinckney Street with last year. So it's a $15,000 project, and we get reimbursed for $12,000 of it. So we're saving some money there, and 2 years in a row we received that grant. So you'll see a bill on that probably next month. So just wanted to fill you in that we did receive that grant. The next item I have for you is pretty exciting. We were approached by a company called Youth Scoreboards. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of them. They want to put scoreboards at our baseball fields at no cost to us. Basically, it's a big LED screen that when the game is being played, it is controlled by a cell phone app by the teams that are playing, would control the scoreboard. And then between innings, between games, and between outs, they roll advertisement on that screen. So the scoreboard would go away, and then it'd be advertisement for 8 seconds between outs, or, they have it all scheduled out on how many advertisements and stuff on that. So basically, it's a lease agreement that we would lease some small piece of property to put their scoreboards on. They sell the advertising. We don't really have to do anything except for supply the electric and the wiring to get to the scoreboard. So this lease agreement is for 5 years, I believe, and they're going to, once their initial investment is paid back, then we get a percentage of all the advertisement that's sold on it as well. So
How many scoreboards we're
there's going to be
talking?
4 scoreboards.
4.
One on each field, one on each turf field, sorry.
Do we get?
I think it's, I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 10%.
How big of
We
a
got to pay
issue?
for the electric?
We pay for the electric, yep.
How big of an issue is it going to be to get electric to those?
It is a job, but we have that all figured up already. It's going to be about $10,000 worth of material and stuff to get that electric in there, but.
Got extension cords at the house.
Make them solar. Go green.
Yeah, when working with an electric company, we got a little mixed up with between Ameren and Quiver River, and so it's a little bit more of an expensive route that we're going to have to take, but it's something that I feel that this is what we're going to do with the electric to get to just the scoreboards. It's going to help us in the future as well. So we're building this a little bit better to help us in the future for future development out there. So it's really not it's not $10,000 just for the scoreboards. That's what we're supplying right now, but it will supply more in the future.
And they will maintain the scoreboards?
They're their scoreboards. So if the home run hits a board and knocks a LED board out, they come out and put a new board in.
We're not liable for any.
We're no.
Is that Quiver River or Ameren out there?
So Quiver River, the power lines that run down Jaspering Lane are Quiver River.
Really? Oh, okay.
However,
right.
the ballpark is supplied by Ameren, and it is in city limits, so Ameren has the first right of refusal on electric. So the pole that we wanted to pull off is Quiver, and we can't do it. We got to get it from Ameren.
Quiver won't let it, it's because it's in Ameren's territory.
Because it's in Ameren's territory.
Okay.
And Ameren's not going to relinquish.
No.
They will if John talks to him.
I contacted Quiver, and they said I had to call Ameren. And then I told Ameren what we're doing, and they said, no, we want to take it, so you have to get it from us.
Okay, they can run their line out there.
So it is what it is. Like I said, it's just a little hurdle that we have to jump over, but it's no big deal.
Yeah. It's always a hassle when you're dealing with co-ops versus a utility, so.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion for first reading of bill number 66-24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Corder, second by Alderman Rollmaker.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a ground lease with Youth Scoreboards LLC at the athletic complex.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 66-24.
So moved. Second.
Anyone?
For what?
Rollmaker first.
Rollmaker.
And who was second?
Me. Schultz.
Schultz.
First was Alderman Rollmaker, second was Alderman Schultz.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a ground lease with Youth Scoreboards LLC at the athletic complex.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Rollmaker,
Yes.
Alderman Lang,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Corder,
Yes.
Alderman Cullen.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent.
So those scoreboards will probably be installed yet this year.
Wow.
However, the electric won't be ran until, we're hoping to get it done by the end of the year, but it probably won't be fired up before the end of the year. But definitely by the start of the season next year, we're going to be having some really nice scoreboards.
Are we one of the first in the area? I mean, including area meaning St. Charles County, or are they?
I believe there's one park in St. Louis County that has these boards already.
I think that'll just enhance our parks even that much more.
Yeah, so just elaborate a little bit on that. The reason they approached us, we did not approach this company. They approached us. They ran the Google Analytics on our park for this past year, and they said that they will have no problem paying these boards off.
Wow.
The influx of people that we've had since the turfing on the fields has just been astronomical, and they're so excited to be here. They're chomping at the bit. So
I've just to expand on that. I've had families that live in the area that their children are playing at our ballpark instead of going to Chesterfield, Illinois, Bridgeton to play, and they are just absolutely thrilled to death.
Yep.
So.
Yep, it was a very good season. And actually, I think our last tournament wrapped up this weekend was the men's slow pitch softball tournament. They played this past weekend, and we're done for the season. So
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Excellent. Next, we'll hear from Building Commissioner Mike Ross.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You have my copy of my monthly report. Give you a few highlights. Forest Dale subdivision over there, kind of the northwest corner of behind Walmart. A lot of road work getting done over there. They're getting ready to start doing infrastructure work. Pinckney and Walnut Hollow both are just running forward hard as they can right now. The Hampton Inn Hotel and the elementary school are back on their second review, and the corrections have been made and just waiting for the approval for those. And those permits will be issued.
How far out is the Hampton Inn? I mean, time-wise, are we?
They've got a lot of dirt work to do there. So it's
it'll
going to be,
sometime next year?
yes.
Best?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But they have received their financing, they're ready to move forward.
As far as I understand.
Did they break ground this year yet, or springtime?
I don't know that yet. I think they're just waiting. They've got to dig a very deep hole and do a lot of work on dirt remediation for that hotel to sit there. Guys, notice we're up to 52 homes this year, which was very pleasant to see. Got 3 more sitting on my desk for me to review, and hopefully we'll push 60 this year before we're done.
I like hearing that.
Yeah. What was our
You
total?
too.
What was our total number last year?
It was like 36.
Say 30-something.
So, had a good year. Very good.
Good year.
That's all I got for you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Mike.
Any other questions for Mike?
Just to comment on I saw that the baseball facility, training center.
Yes.
Is very close to being open, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep, that's finally completed, and I think they've had a couple kids in there already throwing some balls.
Awesome, that's great to know. Good, thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Chief of Police Larry Ellard.
Good evening. The only agenda item I've got for you is my monthly report. And while I've got the microphone, it seems like every single year, I know every year, take a report, at least one report, of someone's Christmas presents being taken from their car because they thought it was a good idea to take their presents and hide them from their kids in their cars. Please don't put your Christmas presents in your car. It's a temptation for people who walk by and see a PlayStation or whatever sitting in your car, like it's going to be gone. So, on that same vein, Cyber Monday is coming up. There's going to be a lot of package delivery, and we don't have a terrible problem at all with porch piracy, but why take the risk? If you're going to have a package coming, track it so you know when it's going to be there. Work with your neighbors to pick each other's packages up, have it delivered to your job, etc. Just minimize the time that it sits on your porch. And then the last thing I've got for you is, again, if snow is forecast, don't park on the street.
Keep the snow routes open.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for Chief?
Nope. Thank you for the reminder on the packages, though. That's great information to get out there.
Thank you.
Next, we're from Director of Planning and Development, Tim Burks.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You have a copy of my monthly report. One of the highlights, we had a new business ship happens at 608 East Boonslick. Opened up, and we should have several projects, planning projects on the agenda for next month. Have any questions for me?
It's probably the easiest night you've had in a while.
Sometimes that happens.
Every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Any questions for Tim?
No.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
So the last item is I will entertain a motion to close the regular Board of Alderman meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, seconded by Alderman Lang. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. And we are adjourned.